Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tea and Chat, book talk or author talk hosted by Cup of Tea with That Book, Please, a blog website full of book reviews and recommendations and related news reports, original writing, and of course, tea. My name is Whitney, and I'm here with Tabrija, creator of Cup of Tea with That Book, Please, and we will be in conversation with our special guest, MJ Soni, author of the Masala Chai Mystery Club. And before we get started, we just want to give a big thank you to all our viewers and listeners. You could be doing a number of things right now, but you've tuned in to this virtual author event. Any links and resources shared or mentioned during this presentation will be shared with on our blog or on the blog. And yes, next slide. So we love mysteries here over at Tea and Books Chat. And if you love mystery, you can follow Tabrija and our other friend Adina, who is not here with us today, about battling detectives. So which detective would solve a case first? Discover Dueling Detectives, where two fictional detectives are pit against each other to see who would win. The name might be changing in the future, so stay tuned. But for now, you can visit or follow us or follow Dueling Detectives on Instagram and Facebook. And the link will be shared again on the blog, but you can visit at bit.ly/ uh capital D, capital D, capital P Padlet for voting and more information. So thank you all for joining. And with that, I will toss it over to Tabrija to introduce our guest.
Thank you, Whitney. And hi, everyone. My name is Sabrisha, and I am the creator of Cup of Tea with That Book, Please. And I have the extreme pleasure of welcoming our special guest for today's episode, MJ Soni, to talk about her mystery debut novel, The Masala Chai Mystery Club. So thank you, MJ, or Manju, we can call you that,
Yeah.
for joining us for today.
Thank you so much. Tabrisia and Whitney, I have been a big fan of your podcast. At least, I don't know, I think when I first heard of you guys was about 6 months ago, and I've been listening to it regularly, and I'm a big fan. So
Thank
thank you so
you.
much. It's
No, 6 months. Amazing. That means a lot to us. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Oh my God. Thank you.
You see, and you thought no one was listening. I was
I
listening.
know. Oh,
It's not
man.
that it's not that we don't think people listen. It's just
Yeah,
like, here's your debut. This is the first time anyone has been like, I've listened to your podcast, and that we're so happy. This makes us very
it's nice to know that you're not just going out, without. I mean, I appreciate it. I really enjoy it.
thank you.
Thank you. So, thank you for that praise. But now we're going to praise Manju with her accomplishment. So, Manju Soni, or pen name MJ Soni, is the author of short stories and Defying Apartheid, her part memoir about being a doctor activist in apartheid South Africa. Her debut mystery, The Masala Chai Mystery Club, which came out this past Tuesday. The story follows a retired librarian and her chai-loving friends as they delve into the investigation of the despised HOA president's murder, which echoes the plot of their latest Agatha Christie book club read. It's perfect for fans of Only Murders in the Building and Richard Osman's The Thursday Murder Club series. So thank you, Manju, for joining us. And congratulations on your mystery debut, which again, it came out this past Tuesday.
Thank you so much.
So for our listeners who had not the chance to read the Masala Chai Murder Club, could you give us a brief synopsis of the book?
So this is the book. I don't know if your readers, listeners will be able to see it, but it's basically a light-hearted murder mystery. It's what's called a cozy, and it's, as you said, about a retired librarian. She's Indian American, so she wears a sari. She likes that tradition of wearing a sari, and she's even able to run in it. But she gets together with her friends and some of the neighbors in her condo association, as well as with her niece, Myra, who has a little boy of 5. And they get together, they form this little group because their neighbor falls down the stairs, and there's something very suspicious about that. And Neeti, that's my protagonist, she knows him from before, from her childhood days, and so she's quite suspicious. And they have chai, they have appetizers, and they solve a murder. And there's a cute dog. So yeah, it's more about friendship. There's a lot about, women's friendship, and and there's a mystery. It's a puzzle to solve. There's another member of the club. She's called Tandi, and she's a South African American. So I pulled in some of my background from South Africa, and she brings her own skills. She's a forensic accountant, and Myra is very good on the internet, and Peggy is her friend, Niti's friend, and she is a vet. So she brings certain other skills there. And Peggy's husband, Lawrence, he's a black lawyer, and he's retired. But he was the first black attorney general for the state, and so he's very well known and quite influential. So he brings his own legal knowledge. So yeah, it's a very multicultural, multi-generational cast of characters with a cute dog and a cute kid.
Both are very cute. I really enjoy the diversity of the cast, and they have varying expertise, and which I definitely think added a layer to the story, because you sometimes you're just like, uh there's so many novices that just
Right.
happen upon a mystery and they want to solve it, but it's, in my experience, again, I'm not as a strong mystery reader as Tabrisha. So in my
Right.
experience, they a lot of mysteries just happened upon like these inexperienced people. And
Yeah.
so it's just nice to actually see expertise here.
Right.
But was the diversity always like intentional? I just, again, it's one of my favorite aspects of the story. And like, were these characters always something that you had in mind when writing?
Yeah. So the main character, Niti, is kind of inspired by my mom. My mom developed dementia and she started forgetting things and forget she even forgot who I was. Most people, she forgot people. And so I think I wanted to bring back the kind of woman she used to be. And she wore sari every day of her life. And so she's very much based on my mom. And then I wanted to introduce the diversity because I don't see it in books that I read a lot, especially mysteries sometimes. And then I also belong to an organization called the Crime Writers of Color. And we are like almost 400 strong group of authors who write crime fiction and thrillers, even horror. And it's not something I see a lot of. And so I was like, I really need to expand the genre. And the Northeast is where the book is set. So again, it's pretty, white, especially the town where I live. So I kind of wanted to bring about more diversity even in my town. So I had to fictionalize it and bring it about.
Our previous, one of our previous guests, Yosha Gunaskera, she's part of
Yes.
that
Yes.
organization, and I think she said the same thing you said, like she wanted to highlight diversity in mysteries that you don't see as much. And I can, as a mystery reader, I can echo that because I always wish to see more diverse characters in either thrillers or detective fiction, or even I consider this a cozy
Yeah.
mystery kind of thing. And in the cozy mystery genre, it is very, unfortunately, white centric. You don't
Right.
see as many diversity in it. I'm happy to say it is starting to grow, but I feel like there's still more work that needs to be done. So have like your book and also Yosha's book. I think it's
Right.
like a great starting point because you have the balance of a cozy or a detective fiction, but
Mhm.
also reflecting the reality of the life of the society that we are living in.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what's so nice about the Crime Writers of Color website even is, your listeners may be able to find more cozies there. The on the website, the books are all divided into different or searchable based on the kind of the subgenre of crime fiction that someone may be looking for. So, and you're right. I think it's beginning to change. We just definitely need more stories that people can connect with like that.
I just yeah, it's just a great addition. I was like, that organization sounds very familiar, so I'm just glad that Teresa remembered. I'm just glad Teresa
Because
remembered.
yeah, Yosha, I know Yosha. We're friends, and yeah, it's a lovely organization. People are so supportive.
Does the organization, do you like collaborate with other authors on things, or is it just kind of a organization for general resources, just more like a I know that these authors exist in my circle, but are there opportunities to collaborate if you wanted to? Or if
Yeah, I mean, I personally haven't.
mhm.
I I'm barely establishing myself as an author, and to then collaborate with someone seems a bit. Yeah, I mean, it may be in the future, but I haven't yet collaborated with anybody. But definitely, yes, there are people who may be like-minded, and you can find someone who you can collaborate with. There's definitely anthology calls that get put
Mhm.
out for short stories. So there's a lot of crosswork that people do, in terms of support as well as working together. Yeah. And there's a lot of mentorship. Kelly Garrett and Mia Peeman and Sala were my Pitch Wars mentors, mentors, yes. And they were wonderful. So I think that's an added benefit of having or being part of Crime Writers of Color.
Amazing. Um, kind of going back to the book.
Yeah,
So Neeti is an older woman, a retired librarian with grandkids.
right.
Um, Again, from my experience, very rarely do I get to see like an older woman of color, kind of in these stories. So, like, why did you want to make her an older woman? And was there any pressure on like the back end, like the publishing side of things, to make her younger?
Yeah, I mean, I am of a woman of that age, and so it's kind of natural. I'm a grandma of younger kids maybe than her, but so I think it was just a very natural fit with where I am in my life. And to be honest, there was absolutely no pushback. In fact, I think my agent and editor and all the publishing team were very happy with her being that age. I think the groundwork has been laid by quite a few authors more recently. There's the Thursday Murder Club, and that's a group of seniors. So I think there's a fair number of there's Uzma Jalaluddin. Her protagonist is a Muslim Canadian woman, Kaushal Khan. And so I think that groundwork has been laid a little bit. And oh, and of course, there's the Vera Wong series by Jesse Q. Sutanto. So those are great senior sleuths who go around solving crimes. I think they've been very helpful in getting Neeti out there into the world as well.
There's also, which I have not read, but I do want to read, where they take the Golden Girls
Yeah.
and they turn it and make it into a mystery and they're detectives. I'm like, oh my God, I want to read this so
I
fast.
have heard about that, and that does sound interesting. I think the comedic timing of B. Arthur would be fantastic for
Yeah.
that type of
Yeah.
genre.
I specifically want to see what Sophia does.
Yes.
Can you imagine? Oh my God.
And then like Ditzy Blanche.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like she'd be the foil the whole like everyone's foil the whole time unintentionally.
Or Rose, she just like basically just blurted out like
Yeah.
without even thinking.
Yeah.
It's fun to see. Golden Girls was such a classic, and I feel like young people they should do reruns of Golden Girls like more widely because they were just the best. It was a lot of fun.
You
They
can
do. They still air it on TV Land and
Okay.
the Hallmark Channel.
the
It's
Oh,
not
Hallmark
right.
on,
Channel.
yeah, it's only available on Hulu for streaming, but they do, because I think they still like, it's still a juggernaut for ratings.
Right.
So I think they still love rerunning, showing reruns of it. And I know it's like one of my comfort shows. Like anytime I need a
Yeah.
good laugh, I just like tune in and Golden Girls and just like watch that.
Right.
Um, But talking more about Niti, she is a retired librarian, which we both love because we are both librarians. So this is great
Right.
to
Yay.
librarians get their time to shine in a mystery. And we feel like you truly captured the profession that is outside of librarians just read books all day. Do you have a personal experience with libraries and librarians? And did you use library resources to write your book?
Yeah. Well, growing up in South Africa under apartheid, I lived very close to the Johannesburg Public Library, which was, I think it was called the Johannesburg Central Library. It was only about a 10-minute walk from our house, but it was for white people only. And so we couldn't even enter. It was this gorgeous building, and I mean, I'm sure it was very well stocked, but we couldn't enter. So that was a huge disappointment. And I was very lucky that my dad would actually buy us a lot of comic books and just very, he is still a voracious reader. So we always had a lot of books in the house. Um, but then when I moved here, I was amazed. I was in awe of all the libraries here and how much care people take to, preserve the libraries. And so it was a big a big change for me that I could use this resource. And so I love libraries for that reason. And and then I use library resources. I did and I didn't. I didn't actually go physically into the library and do background research or anything because a lot of the story was not related to libraries. But I did look up the history of my own town library because I describe it in the book, and it's a beautiful building. And I didn't know where the marble and some of all those things come from, and so I had to look up what Nubian marble was and things like that. So, um, so I did do some research around that, but libraries as general, I didn't. But I'm also in awe of librarians. You guys are heroes. I mean, I think you on the nowadays, especially on the front of books being banned, and you're trying to. I think it's like librarians are warriors in a way, right? To preserve the written word in so many, especially with the book bannings, of LGBTQ plus and also people of color, and all the bannings related to that. So I am a huge fan and in awe of librarians generally because I think librarians serve, they do a service. It's a service. It's not just a job. So, yes.
We appreciate you appreciating us.
Thank you.
Because it's just like you really captured like when we tell people we're librarians, they're like, "Oh, it must be nice to like read all day." And you're like, "No, that is not at all what we do." And like you really this is earlier in the book, but you really capture like the good and the not so good things that
Yeah.
can happen at a library, especially if you're in charge like Needy was. She was, I think, the executive
Yeah.
director of the
Right.
library. So then, when you're head honcho, you have to deal with a whole slew of things that
Right.
um that you wouldn't think you would have to deal with at a library or working at a library. So I just wanted to say that I appreciate the acknowledgement of the fact that we love to read, obviously, like, but but you would think that that would be our job is to read, but it's really not. We serve the community and we provide a space and we provide the resources. So it's just
Right.
nice that you acknowledge that in the book.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, especially in a small town library, you don't have a lot of people. It's like probably 5 or 6 people who run the whole library. So it's a lot of work. And yeah, so mutual admiration society. That's us.
We love it. Um, so you love mystery. The cast of characters in the book love mystery. The victim was reading a mystery book called Dumb Witness
Hmm.
that has been inserted. So besides Dumb Witness, if you could replicate or retell Christie or Agatha Christie, for those that might not know, mystery, which would you choose and why?
Oh my God, that is a very difficult question because I mean, yeah, she's a genius in terms of plotting, right? And the twists. So yeah, I kind of knew you were going to ask this question, right? So I was thinking about it, and I think the murder of Roger Ackroyd, and that really, the twist really had me, it got me because I was never expecting that to happen. And so I don't know, I maybe shouldn't spoil it for your listeners, but the twist in there is really great, and I would love to replicate that without the problem is like, it would become fan fiction if I basically just replicate it. So I'm kind of I would like to use that twist in a different way. That's what I'm thinking. I would love to do that, yes.
It is, I am ashamed to say, and I love Agatha Christie to this day, and it's still on my list. I still have not read it.
Well, okay, so then it's good I didn't tell you.
I did, yeah. I know there's a twist because
Yeah.
every writer, mystery writer who have talked and they talk about the murder of Roger Ackroyd, they said there's a twist. It's like, oh my God, it's like I know it's there.
Hmm.
So, and I know this year I think it's celebrated its 100th anniversary
Oh,
of
wow.
publication, and I got a special edition from the UK. It's like, so this will encourage me to
Right.
finally read it.
I had no idea it was already 100 years old.
I
Wow.
know, yeah, it is a shock, but I know that's like out of all and I think it was one of her personal favorites too, because they asked her
Yeah.
which one is like your out of all the books you've written, which one is your personal favorite? And The Murder of Roger Ackroyd was one of them. So, yeah, I definitely want to read it, and I know, and I'm trying to like not expect the twist, but I know there's a twist.
I know, and yeah, it kind of yeah, it's good to go into a book not knowing anything about it because then it really like, you get totally, as the British would say, gobsmacked. But
Yeah, because
yeah,
I want to like, because my favorite, and well, actually, this is a perfect segue into a next question we asked. What is your favorite Agatha Christie novel?
yeah, and that is also impossible. I was thinking about that again. She was such a genius on so many fronts, right? When you like firstly the plots, like the plots are amazing. She spent, and even in her autobiography she says that she spent a lot of time thinking about the plot, which makes a lot of sense. The mystery itself has to be really strong. But then she was amazing at characterization. And then the other thing I think she was so genius at was having a huge cast of characters, and each one of them is different. They all very individual, all very unique, and each one of them has a motive. And so I think Murder on the Orient Express might be one that I really admire in terms of the cast and the complexity of trying to bring that out. Um, yeah, I think that. So it's not, I would never say like any one of her books is my favorite. All I can say is that I really enjoyed the cast in that one because everyone had a good motive to kill the victim.
And it was shocking. I'm not going to spoil it. Shocking. And it was just very cleverly done.
Very
Like how I
clever.
was like, wait, seriously? Like it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I so wish that we could like go into her mind. Yes, I mean, I could
Yeah.
teleport in and see how it works. Oh gosh, so hard.
Yeah. And I was gonna say like that my favorite is And Then There Were None.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
Agree.
it's it's just amazing. I wish I could like not know what happened within that book so I can just reread it with just like with
Right.
a new experience
Yeah,
because it was just so enticing and shocking and chilling
yeah,
that when I reached the end, I was like, wait, this did not just happen. I was like doubting myself, like, no, this didn't happen. And it did. And I was like, oh my God. And I feel like there's so many authors try to resemble
hmm,
the like how, the setting of like the locked room
yeah,
mystery of a person being knocked one by one. Some do a great job, some don't, but they're not both are not able to like replicate what she did
yeah,
in
yeah.
that novel. And it's just amazing. It's just like the epitome like of what locked room mysteries can be
Right.
and just in short amount of time. And it is still like one of those mysteries that I absolutely love reading.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right because I think that's the one book where she kills off the most number of people.
Mhm.
And there's that whole suspense element of who's going to be next, right? Which is kind of lacking in some of the others because the others are all just like solving the puzzle of who killed so and so. And but that one, yeah, it's like who is going to be next? And then yeah, it's that was very good too. Yeah.
I think it's one of I like the different movies that are branched off. I think I could be 100% wrong, but there's this what's the movie with John Cusack? I think it's called Identity, and it's kind of like a
Mhm.
spin on that tale, at least to me, where it's a bunch of people on an island with a serial killer, and they're all getting like plucked off one by one. It's more like horror thriller or
Yeah,
like
yeah,
slasher thriller.
yeah,
So I think that is a great spin on that story. Even though I don't think it's overtly a reference, but it still has like isolated
It's
it is.
inspired.
Yeah.
It says
yeah.
it's inspired by And Then There Were None. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So that movie made me want to read the book,
All right.
even though obviously it's different different tone altogether, but I just like that I like that style of story and like
Mm,
the remake of and the different remakes that spawn from it.
yeah. Yeah, and I think it's testimony to how great she is because there's just so many movies and more derivative kind of things that come from her. Yeah.
So kind of keeping on with like the mystery solving vein, um, what is your favorite or like what is your favorite type of mystery to read? And I know that you've written, this book or Masala Chai Mystery Club. But is there uh not upcoming, but is there a type of mystery book that you would like to write that's different from this one?
Mm. So I actually started off writing thrillers. Um, and I wrote a thriller with set in South Africa with a cold case from apartheid days. But it didn't really go anywhere. And two agents, when I pitched it at Thriller Fest, said to me, apartheid doesn't sell. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it made sense because it was set in South Africa and I was pitching it to American agents. Um, so then I moved from thrillers to psychological suspense, and then I moved from psychological suspense to domestic suspense. So if I didn't write the next one as a cozy, I think I would go back to domestic suspense. I love the idea of relationships going wrong. Not that I want it to happen, but it's just interesting to explore how they could go wrong and kind of a little more action driven, like Harlan Coben style. Um, so that, yeah, those kind of books, I really, I like reading them as something different from cozies. Yeah.
I realize I'm a cozy person. Like before we logged on for this talk, there's a because I have the Hallmark channel.
All
I have the Hallmark channel and the Hallmark Mystery channel. So it's just like garage sale mystery marathon with
right.
the Rebecca from Full House. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
just like on in the background. But and then I also can't fall asleep to anything but Murder She Wrote because that comes
Oh really?
so that
Interesting.
like that is my like background fall asleep
Right.
like tone. So I've seen like that in Columbo, but Columbo is harder to access than well, it's on I
Ah,
think watch it
yes.
on Tubi. Um, but yeah, I love a a more cozy mystery, but at the same time, and correct and feel free to chime in on your thoughts on this, but I just find it so weird. And again, it's a procedural, it's a whodunit, but you live in this town and you're always at the scene of the crime.
I
You're
know.
always at the scene of the crime. Like at some point, you have to be the common denominator. Like
True.
that is my thought process.
Absolutely. I mean, Jessica Fletcher's everywhere, right? Yes, and I think it applies to all these mysteries, right? Like in the UK, there was Morse, and he was in Oxford, right? So you would think Oxford has the highest murder rate in the UK, but I don't think that's true. So it's true. And like you say, they're always at the crime scene. So yeah, who's going to decide that they are the murderer? I mean, you need a good detective to actually suspect them.
Like the same, I saw this meme, and it was about Midsummer Murders,
Oh
since
yeah.
you brought up Inspector Morse, and they said, so Midsummer Murders has been on for 25 seasons. It's like, so who is left in this town? Like, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so true.
Who would move to that town knowing that statistic? Yeah. This is why I'm going to, I think if when I follow up to this one, I'm going to have to move out of my town because also my neighbors are going to start wondering whether they're appearing in my books or not. So I have to be very careful.
Have any of your neighbors read your book and said
They're in
anything?
the process because it came out on
Ooh.
Tuesday, and a lot of them were at my launch. So, but to be honest, I don't write directly from any particular person, and I definitely avoid writing about my friends and neighbors. Um, but
Well,
the incidents I sometimes do.
so are you telling us that there is a Ruhit in your neighborhood?
No, no, there is no
Okay.
Rohit.
Because I was just like, well,
No. And I do have an HOA, but they're wonderful. It's a very nice, very calm, very easygoing HOA. So I wouldn't want to kill any of them.
that's on record, folks.
Yes.
Probably like the first. I feel like with homeowners associations when they're reflected in books,
Mhm.
they're all or even in TV shows, they're always fraught. They're always like,
Right.
fighting and there's like that one person who just like everyone hates and then that person ends up being murdered. So I don't know what is it about like homeowners association that just brings it out, like out of people because I live in an apartment. I've never been part of like any kind of like homeowners
Uh,
association or thing. So
right.
it just like brings out the worst out of people.
Well, I was struggling with like, okay, why? Like, why would I was struggling. I wasn't struggling. I was like trying to work out who would get murdered and why. And I remember the story about my sister-in-law in South Africa told me. And in South Africa, people had to live in different neighborhoods, dependent on the racial group that they were, uh, put into by the government, assigned basically. Excuse me. And so my sister-in-law said about this was 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when apartheid was just coming to an end and neighborhoods were becoming more mixed, that this I think it was a couple from the Congo, they had moved into this neighborhood and then the homeowners president said to my sister-in-law, well, now they're going to start slaughtering cows. And I was like, oh, I got to put that in. That's like so obvious. And then I went down this rabbit hole on Reddit about homeowners associations. It was shocking what they can do. And they're not really a legal body, but they have so much power. And they can take a lien on your house and take your house away from you. And so I was it just once I started reading that, I was like, okay, this has to be the plot. Because then there are so many suspects who want to kill someone on the homeowners association who is really being difficult.
Yeah, I am also in an apartment, but hopefully the next year or two I'm in a place where I can get my own condo or co-op or whatever. And the thought of being part of an HOA scares me to death because how are you gonna tell me that I can't do something to a house that I paid for and that I'm putting mortgage on and like you can take my house just because I didn't pull my trash can in
Yeah.
on time. Like like you
Yeah. And often I think the people who are on HOAs are people who have a lot of time, right? And so the stakes are low, but they come to the issue with such zeal and are so determined to stop something and ensure that and they really believe they're doing the right thing. And it sometimes is and sometimes isn't. So it can get totally out of hand.
too many power hungry people with, as you mentioned, time on their hands. Too much time on their
Exactly.
hands.
Exactly.
It reminds me of a book that I read, I think it was like about 2 years ago by Pia Abdullah. She wrote Perfectly Nice Neighbors.
Oh
And
yeah.
after reading that, I was like, that's it. I'm never moving into a suburban development.
I mean, I have to say my HOA is very good because they have, they make sure the roads are plowed when it snows and, you know, I mean, if no one did that, that would be a big problem, right? We wouldn't be able to get out. So someone has to make sure that the lights are working on the street lamps are working and whatnot. So I think in that sense, when they function well, they do a good job. It's when they go a little nutty.
I think it's just that we have to stop reading books about HOA because that's like ingraining in our mind what they
Exactly. Sorry.
are being perceived as.
Yeah, they're getting a bad rep.
Yeah. Um, oh, so we wanted to ask this next question. This is so we mentioned in our introduction of for this episode that there is another like podcast show that we do that's called Dueling Detectives, where we pit a fictional detective against one another to see who would solve the case first. So we wanted to ask like, who would you pit Niti against? Which other fictional detective? Who would you choose and why? And who do you believe would solve the case first?
Yeah, that's difficult. I mean, I can't put her against Miss Marple because I think Miss Marple has so much more experience. She would totally win, right? But I do like Uzma Jalaluddin's Kaushat Khan. She's a South Asian Muslim lady in Canadian, but I think the two of them would be similar in age as well and similar experience, equally determined. And to be honest, I think after a while, instead of dueling with each other, they may start talking to each other and working together to solve the case. Because they're both quite agreeable in that way. They're not that competitive. Um, so yeah, I think that would be I think her books are called Detective Auntie. And so both of them are aunties. They're South Asian. You know how the aunties in South Asian culture are. They quite inquisitive and they get stuff done. So yeah, I would say, I don't know. I mean, I would wish Neeti would win, but yeah, they might be well matched.
They might just come to an agreement. It's like, let's stop fighting.
Absolutely.
Let's just solve this.
I think women are more likely to do that, right? They're like, let's pool our resources. Let's get this stuff done.
That's true. We did one time where we couldn't find anyone to pit against Sherlock Holmes.
Right.
So we did the different versions of Sherlock.
Huh?
And I'm thinking and envisioning they would probably forget about, they're so egotistical, they would probably be like, who's the best Sherlock? And just forget about the
The
case
case.
overall.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think Sherlock is, he has some airs about himself. And
Yeah.
yep.
But we did finally pit him against Poirot.
Oh,
And
interesting.
I think we had viewers, they voted for I think they voted for Sherlock. They said
Yeah.
Sherlock would.
He has more street cred because he's kind of I think also, Benedict Cumberbatch has just totally modernized him. Whereas Poirot is just this funny old dude who hasn't been it. No one can modernize Poirot. So,
I think they're trying to. I think they're gonna do
yeah,
yeah, a TV show, yeah,
oh,
with
that's interesting.
Is it
I
going to be like a British or French,
think
Canadian?
it's British.
Oh, good. Because I was like, definitely not coming. That's definitely not
I
American.
mean, you can't imagine a younger Poirot twirling his mustache and I don't know. I don't know how that would work though.
I mean,
Yeah,
mustaches are so in because of the hipsters. So I
Okay.
think a young man with a
Okay.
curled mustache or just a mustache in general, no one would blink an eye because mustaches are in right
That
now.
is true. That is true. Hmm.
so with
You just have to think
Poirot,
of it. Yeah.
And
yeah,
after a while, you stop seeing all of that. You kind of go more to his thinking and his
Yeah.
ability to solve the crime. So, okay.
I would watch
I would
it.
watch it. Yeah.
I would
I
watch it. Yeah.
I think my favorite Sherlock Holmes are Sean from Psych and Jeremy, because he's technically it's Psych is technically a Sherlock show, and Johnny Lee Miller from Elementary. I
Oh,
think those are
yeah.
my favorite modern Sherlocks.
Yeah, I just started rewatching Psych
Oh my
recently.
God. I have the whole thing on DVD. It's like one of my favorite shows. It's just it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's not it's and it doesn't feel dated. It's still the jokes are still funny.
Yeah.
I love Sean and Gus. I think their dynamic is amazing. Both the actors have great chemistry, but also
Right.
their So yes, I'm so glad I should also rewatch Psych because it's actually again, it's one of my favorite shows of all times.
Yeah, and what's nice is they take away the veil and show you how you can solve it. Like anyone can solve it if they just really honed their ability to observe and
Mhm.
um but you know, I think some people are just much better at it naturally. And yeah, yeah, I really learned. Yeah, I think I'm going to watch it more regularly now.
Teresa, you should watch it. If you can borrow
I
my
do.
DVDs if you
I
need
oh, okay.
it.
Haven't watched it in years. Yeah, I know they used to re-air it, do reruns on Hallmark Mystery, and then they
Mm.
stopped.
Yeah, they definitely need to bring Psych back, but we are approaching look, I think we're finishing, I think Hallmark is finishing up Christmas in July, but starting in October, they're gonna ramp up Christmas movies
All
all
right.
day, every day. So,
Okay.
so
They're
that's the
always
one.
such a funny thing to watch.
Christmas mysteries are surprisingly in.
So, yeah.
We have a few more questions for you,
Yeah.
before we kind of wind down a little bit. But I we want to know like the book starts off with making chai and all of the different components and the different flavors, but then you also decide to include other culinary recipes in this book, and we just want to know what made you want to include those.
Well, I didn't initially. I wanted to celebrate chai. I'm sure more than 1 billion people in the world drink chai. Almost all of South Asia, which is a large number of countries, and and then people, the diaspora of South Asia, all drink chai. And my mom would make her own chai masala and add, when it was in season, mint or lemongrass. And so that was just something I wanted to focus on. But then I wasn't planning on putting any recipes. And then my publisher came back and said, "Oh, you should put some recipes." So then I had to go do my America's Test Kitchen thing and go and try out a few recipes and pay attention to exactly how much of what I put into things. And so that's how the recipes made their way into the book, to the back of the book.
Were these recipes that like you grew up with, like your mom made, and then you just so it just more had to be more exact? Because I know, like, I feel like all three of us, we are measure with our hearts type of people.
Yes.
So, and you can't necessarily be like, "Mm, whatever you think is best for this particular spice." So, so
Yeah,
you had to go back and like really think about exact measurements?
right. So the masala chai recipe, I like adapting things to like it's still trying to keep the core of the traditional recipe, but then adapt it, make it slightly easier for today. So the masala chai recipe, my mom used to make it very strong. So it like really would catch you in the throat. I think it had a lot of black pepper and more cloves. So I kind of adapted that. So it's not as yeah, it's not, it doesn't catch you in the throat so much. And then the shortbread recipe with masala chai powder is my own. I love shortbread, but I'm like, oh, what would happen if I added masala chai to it? And actually, it had a really interesting flavor, so I added that in. So it's an adaptation of a traditional shortbread. And then the aloo tikki recipe is a potato, like a potato croquette kind of recipe, and that is my mom's. But it's not something that she even wrote down. It's something I would just watch her make. And then I started making it when I was younger. And it's a great go-to recipe, which is very easy to make when you do, when you're just looking for a good side dish. So, but I did have to like test it multiple times to make sure that the proportions I have in the recipe actually work. And yeah, but I disclaimer, I take no responsibility for the final product.
Again, I'll just make it because now I want to like try and recreate it on
Yeah.
my end. Again, I'll just measure with my heart. But for
Yes.
those of you who read the book and
Right.
are in, or people that have different processing ways to process information, if you want to do the exact way, it's in there, but I will be measuring with my heart.
Absolutely. And that's how we keep cooking and recipes alive, right? We adapt them. So if you want to put like mint into whatever, I don't know, you want to change things up, that's fine because it's still, and there's nothing, I don't think there's any recipe that's entirely unique. A lot of it is derived from all the other things that we've made or eaten. So even famous chefs, I don't think they entirely unique with their recipes.
Okay, so we're going to go into our next portion of our conversation, and this is the this or that bookish edition. So these are a couple of like statements we're going to ask you to choose from so our audience members can get to know you a little bit better. Right? So the first step we're gonna do is paperback or hardback.
Paperback. It's lighter.
Definitely can go with that. Read one book at a time or multiple books at a time.
Multiple, but a maximum of two or three.
I wish I could have that. I've done like five, and it's
And I start to joke. I can only do the way my attention span is set up, I can only do one book at a time because if I read more than one, if I'll start to like meld characters together, even if the plot is different. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
well, was Jeffrey in this book or was he Colin in that one? I don't know. Who knows?
one POV or two or more POVs.
Oh my God, two or more. So this book started off with six POVs. I think this is just me, I think. I grew up in South Africa and there were lots of people who, I mean, people of color didn't have a voice under apartheid. And so I I try to be very fair and I want to give everyone a voice. And when my agent first read the book, she's like, I really like it, but you need to cut back on the POVs. And so I went from six POVs. I rewrote it like three or four times, each time taking out a point of view, and finally landed up with two. So I think, I don't know, I'm now learning that it's better to just have one or two and not six because a lot of rewrites happen if you have six.
I Yeah, I mean I can understand like what you're saying, like making sure that every character has a voice. And so I feel bad.
That's my problem. I feel bad. So I even gave Rohit a voice, and then she said to me, he's gonna die. People can get attached to the villain and I mean the victim, and then you're gonna kill him off. And so I'm like, okay, I really have to stop doing that.
Be the first writer to do that. So I like many encountered in both like um prose fiction and in comic and graphic novels where
Yeah.
it killed out the favorite character within a couple of panels of the pages. I'm like, what did you
Yeah,
do?
like, Game of Thrones, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, George R. R. Martin didn't hesitate. He just went around killing people whom we all really got attached to. So yeah. I don't know. But then I realized with a cozy, especially, you really need one main character that people can connect with and that you can carry on through the series. So,
True. But still, that's such a nice thought. You want to give every character a voice. Aw, okay.
And sometimes every character deserves a voice. I'm a single. I can do multiple points of view, but I think I prefer like the first person POV. I don't
Oh,
mind being in a single person's head. And I think
right.
with good writing and good characterization, you can still kind of get to know the side characters, even if they don't necessarily have like their own point, like their own voice
Yeah.
to be
Yeah,
heard.
no. And it's a little harder to have them all in the same room as or in the same place as the main character. It's more work, right? Because I mean, I think it's easier to just go into a different character's head and be somewhere else and you present a different aspect of the story. But then I think it's also hard for readers to follow if it's too many characters that they've not really connected with all of them, and so yeah, it's there's pros and cons to both, I suppose.
Mm, okay. Um, hard copy or ebook or audio or digital copy.
Huh. Ebook or hard copy, definitely. I mean, I listen to audiobooks, but I tend to fall asleep after about 5, 10 minutes.
Same.
So I have to visually read something either. An ebook is nice when I'm traveling. Um,
Mm.
paper, yeah, paper's good. And also the nice thing about paper is, you can keep it. And I do. I have old books and old textbooks. And just recently I pulled out a children's book that was given to my son. And it was given by my sister, my sister-in-law who had two sons at the time. And I realized that, it actually dated the book to a particular time because then she had a daughter and I had a daughter, but there's no mention of our two daughters. So I realized, oh my God, he must have been about 1 or 2 when this book was given to him. So I feel like there's an added bonus of having that sentimental value to a paper copy.
Yeah, I agree. But even though I do like listening to audio, and I will say that the audio narration for your book is really good.
Oh,
She,
is it? Thank
yeah,
you.
she does a very great job.
Thank you.
Um, Next up we have a library or bookstore.
Library. Mean, I love bookstores, yes. But then I can't carry away 10 books from a bookstore. I can go to a library and get 10 books
And then bring them back.
and then bring them back.
So for this next one, Whitney and I have a competition between us. Um, so bookmarks or page corner fold.
Mm, I like bookmarks.
Yay.
Yeah, I have these old bookmarks of my kids with when they were growing up, and then I laminated it and cut it into like bookmarks, and they're still everywhere. I use them all the time. I feel like the corner ones, they get damaged and I don't know.
Well, like, so dog earing the
Dog
page.
earing a page.
Oh, dog earring the page. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
thought you were talking about the corner bookmark that
No,
I've
no.
seen recently. Mm, mm. I just put post-its like little note stickies. I don't like dog earring. I feel like that.
Thank you.
It's
Yay.
okay. That is okay. Um, yeah, I'm a dog-eared page person, and then I do sometimes use post-its. It
Okay.
depends. Or a receipt or like a napkin or
No, no,
something.
no, no. This
I
is
don't have
coming out of nowhere. She
She doesn't know
has
my reading life.
blatantly said,
I love a
I
dog
will
eater.
dog ear the page. This
I
is the
will.
first time she mentions a receipt or a post-it.
She
I
has to go back to
mentioned
read
the
our
receipt.
recordings, is what she
I
needs to
mentioned the
do.
receipt. I mentioned that she could use the
Okay.
receipt. And she said, oh, why would I do that when I can just dog ear the
Dog
page?
ear the page.
Where
I
this is
love
coming
it.
from.
Well, now I have two library books out because and I put them on hold, so I'll just use the hold slip as my receipt as my
Again, I
bookmark.
don't know where this is coming from. She made no mention of the checkout receipt or using, I
I
said that
roll.
use a receipt We
Guys are
work in a
funny.
library.
I
We get
roll.
so
So
many
if you're
bookmarks.
not, for listeners and viewers at home, if you're listening to this, I am rolling my eyes just for the visual, just for those who can't see. I am rolling my
If
eyes.
you're going to like be trying to be upfront because we have a special guest, be truthful.
Did I not say that I dog ear my pages?
Yes, but you're like coming out as like, oh, but I do use a post-it in a receipt because surprisingly, Manju said that she uses a post-it, so you're coming in and
I
saying
do
you're
like a
using a
post-it. I do.
Fabricia is like basically you've got to choose. You can't be this and that. You got to be this or that. But also you can't dog ear a library book. I mean that's
Exactly. I do not dog ear library books.
Oh, you know what? We gotta move on
you better move on.
because I'm shocked at just like the blatant lies that he told.
Blatant lies. You gotta share the timestamps. You gotta go back to a year's worth of us asking this question.
She's like, have someone say you can't dog
I
ear a
mean,
library book.
Manju has been
And you
listening for
agreeing,
six
and I'm like,
months. Manju
what?
has been listening for 6 months. So Manju, if you remember of listening
Yeah,
across
I'm sorry. I'm going to be Switzerland on this one.
exactly.
I'm
Next,
your
next,
guest. I cannot take
exactly.
sides.
It's
Oh,
okay. But I support both of you using bookmarks in the manner of which that you use them. And I would hope that I would be supported in dog hearing pages. Thank you. Next question.
Good, let's go on. But I do
that's
think there's an unmet need here in the book market of finding some way around this issue of dog earring versus book. Because what if you want to bookmark a whole lot of pages? But let's move on. Let's move on to the next question.
that's where the post-its come in, and we're going to move on. And Manju, I am going to, after this, email you an episode where we had with our other friends about the same thing, and you're gonna hear a totally different conversation. But we're gonna
Okay. Okay.
move on. Read in bed or read on the couch?
On the couch. In bed, I fall asleep. Yeah,
True.
on the couch for sure.
Um, Series or standalones?
Mm, Either. I'm kind of neutral on that. I mean, a lot of psychological suspense, domestic suspense are not series, right? So, cozies are series, and if I really like the protagonist, then yes, I would go with the series. So it's kind of both, yeah. Mm.
And then the final one, reading with tea or reading with coffee?
Oh, tea. Masala chai, of course.
Yeah. I had the feeling I knew the answer. Still wanted to ask.
Right.
Is forgive my ignorance, is masala chai that caffeinated or is just regular?
Oh, it's pretty much caffeinated because it's regular
Amazing.
tea. It's regular. The tea is regular. It's the chai powder that makes it masala, right? So, to be honest, I mean, Starbucks and all these places have chai, but they add so much. It's all just cinnamon or um, what do you call it? Cilantro? No, not cilantro. What am I talking about? Coriander? Coriander? No,
I think I don't think it's coriander.
no,
I
it's not
know
coriander. What am I talking about?
Mm,
Oh my
uh,
God. The Gujarati word is elachi, which
like
is
nutmeg or
brain fart, sorry.
and I
But it's a
allspice.
lot of cinnamon, and that's
Yeah.
kind of almost like pumpkin spice kind of flavor in a way. Whereas I think traditional masala chai powder has a lot more like even black pepper and nutmeg and cloves even. So there's a lot of different things that it's definitely different to what is being, sold at Starbucks, for example. Um, but it is caffeinated. I mean, you could use decaffeinated tea leaves to make masala chai. Fine. It's possible.
Okay. So we are on our last question. Thank you so much for indulging us this entire time. But we ask all of our guests to do a book talk. So a book talk is a 30-second to 1 minute elevator pitch of why people should read your book. And again, it can be as simple or as detailed as you want it to be. And we will give you the floor in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it.
Okay, so this is the Masala Chai Mystery Club, and you really should read it, firstly, because it's a wonderful summer read. And it's about a multicultural, multi-generational group of characters who are all adorable. And it's lighthearted, it's fun, it's about female friendships, and there's a very cute dog who's a love sponge, and a very cute kid. And it resembles Agatha Christie's Dumb Witness in that the dumb witness is the dog. So the dog is the only witness to the murder and helps to solve it. So, yeah, that's my pitch. And you should read it because you must support me.
Yes, please read The Masala Chai Mystery Club by MJ Soni or Manju. And thank you so much. And with that, I'm going to toss it over to Tabrija to take us home.
Thank you, Whitney. And yes, and thank you, and Manju, for talking about your book. So, yes, you have heard it here. You must go get the Masala Chai Mystery Club. It is a great summer read, and also for mystery fans and lovers, you will especially enjoy this book. It is available at your local bookstore and the library. So we'll be adding the links in the episode and also on our website so you can get the purchase links for that. But we want to give a big shout out to thank you, Manju, for joining us this for this episode. We hope you enjoy this conversation and also our antics of, of
I
dealing.
loved you guys. You're wonderful. So much fun talking to you. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
Thank you. And then we love talking with you. And thank you for everyone who took the time to listen to this episode. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and subscribe to our newsletter and subscribe to our website to keep on the lookout for more upcoming episodes and also book recommendations. And also make sure to follow Tea and Books chat wherever you get your podcasts. So thank you, Manju. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take
Bye,
care, everyone.
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye.